Hello, I am here with Ambassador Barbara Barrett, the recipient of the 2017 ATHENA Valley of the Sun Leadership Award. So congratulations, and thank you for taking the time to do this interview with us.
Thanks so very much. I'm conscious of what a privilege it is to be recognized with the ATHENA Award. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right, so Live Authentically is a foundational ATHENA leadership principle. What early in your life helped you to form your leadership identity?
Oh, well, early in my life, I was raised on a farm, and in farm life you do everything that you're capable of doing. So by the time I was 10, I could shoe a horse, milk a cow, drive a car. It's one of those environments where you just do whatever needs done. And so early in my life, I guess when I was 13, my father died, and I was the sole source of income for 6 kids and my mother, and I earned income by taking people horseback riding. So I was on a horse's back a great deal of the time, and like as is the case with most farming environments, there are no excuses. You have to be there, you have to get the job done. The mission for me was to make sure that the people who came to go horseback riding were having a great time. So get the work done, have a good time. Good combination.
Yeah, a very good combination. All right, you have often been faced with a situation where you needed to take a stance that was not always popular. Can you describe an example that helped you to become a fierce advocate?
In the late 80s and early 90s, I was a civilian advisor to the Secretary of Defense. And at that time, women were excluded by law from flying in aircraft engaged in combat. And that was read to mean aircraft capable of combat. So women were not permitted to fly fighters or bombers. They were allowed to fly tankers or transports. But the top of the class always pursued fighters and bombers. The next category would be the tankers and transport pilots. So women could be in the B level performance, but not in the A level performance. And of course, most generals got promotions out of the fighters and the bombers. So I was arguing that women should be permitted to compete, to be in those same settings, that hand-to-eye coordination mattered more than what packaging you were in, whether it's a female package or a male package. And so some of the responses I got was that women are life givers, they're nurturers, and they don't take life, they give life. And I suggested to a general that clearly he hadn't been through a divorce. And he also found, I thought, that it wasn't especially chivalrous that women could fly things they couldn't shoot back. But they couldn't defend themselves, but they could fly things that make a very good target. It took a lot of advocacy, but eventually we got the law change, and after that the policy changed. And now women are flying combat aircraft routinely. And our Arizona's own Congresswoman, Martha McSally, was the first woman to fly an aircraft engaged in combat, and the first woman to command a squadron engaged in combat. So Arizonans have been on the cutting edge of some of that in the past and continue to. So I've become a fierce advocate for women, for not excluding women from things they're perfectly capable of doing. Exclude them, okay, if you must, from jobs where women can't perform it, but there are a precious few of those, and allowing women to fly combat aircraft was not defensible.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, well, a guiding principle of ATHENA Valley of the Sun is to leave no woman leader behind. So why do you believe it is so important to hold this principle as a woman leader?
You know, there aren't enough leaders in this world, and we need leadership for our country, for our state, for our families, for our clubs. We need leadership throughout the country and throughout the world. Women can be great leaders and are known for being great leaders in inclusiveness and in working through consensus. So having women leaders is really a natural, and it's a real positive for society. And I've been working especially with women in Afghanistan, and there's a place where thoughtful leadership is really essential. And so working with women leaders, whether it's right here at home or as far away as Afghanistan, it's important to have women leadership.
Yes, ma'am, it is. I read an article on you that was published in 2014 by Margie Goldsmith, and in the article what spoke to me is you had mentioned that on your astronaut patch it had the phrase, "Knowledge is the gateway." Can you tell us a little bit about why that spoke to you?
It was designed, this patch, by Arizona resident Bob McCall, the same Robert McCall who had done the stamp of man landing on the moon and had done the two-story high mural at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. And he's a guy who lived just up the road from where we are here in Paradise Valley. So Bob McCall helped design that patch, and he dropped in the symbol for women in the middle of it, and "Knowledge is the gateway" was my hope, because truly education and knowledge is the ticket by which liberation occurs and by which people get opportunity. So for young people, for women and men, knowledge is the gateway. That's how you open doors to both achieving new things, but even to aspiring to things that you don't know what you might be able to achieve unless you have the knowledge of what is around you. So I think knowledge is the gateway, and I think travel is one of the great ways to get that knowledge. So whether it's knowledge from a book, knowledge from travel, knowledge from talking to inspirational people, knowledge is the gateway, and I was proud to have that as my patch.
Wonderful. What advice do you have to the young Athenas?
Well, first I would congratulate those young Athenas, and they have already demonstrated leadership, and that's why they're being recognized with that Athena recognition. But then I would just say, keep learning and keep leading as well. This world needs leadership, and their leadership can be pivotal to where we go from here. There still may be some vestiges of the old environment where women are not expected to be leaders, but some of the best leadership we get as a community, as a family, as a nation, and as a world, some of our best leaders are women, and I hope that many of them will be rising into increased leadership roles and leadership in their environments, whichever those are.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm honored to,
Yes.
and I'm conscious of what a great privilege it is to be a
Good.
part of it.